Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head up to Berlin once again, and this is yet another one of the beers that I picked up there on my way down to Bamberg. So for this one we are going to return to the Berg Brauerei and we're having a taste of one of their Berliner Weisses today, which should be very interesting. So to give this beer its proper name, it is the Berliner Fruchte Weisse, and this one is the Johannisbeere edition. And when I'm filming this beer is actually very new. So this one comes in at 3.2%, it's a Berliner Weiss, and Johannisbeere, and I guess when you translate that into English, it means like currants, like black currants, red currants kind of thing. So yeah, it's basically, this is a Berliner Weiss with black currant and red currants in it, so should be very interesting. So definitely looking forward to this one, and as always I hope you guys enjoy my my take on this beer. This is basically one that they've done, as they say on the bottle, with seasonal fruits, so it should be very interesting, and we'll see how we get on. So yeah, as always with my reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews that I've done from Berg Brauerei before. No doubt I will add some more in the near future. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do please consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel, of course, has a geography-based tagging system, so you can go into the home page and search for beer based on country, city, state, county, prefecture, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the German beers that I've reviewed for you. That's constantly being added to, and as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and the support that you show the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about the Berg Brauerei then, on to my brewery notes. So the Berg Brauerei was founded back in 2015 by Uli Erxleben, Finn Hensel and Robin Weber, and the three apparently met through their careers in e-commerce, but they'd worked internationally and they were huge beer enthusiasts actually, and thought about either opening up their own beer bar or brewing for themselves, and they eventually settled on the latter. They then hired their first brewmaster, who was Rich Hodges, who actually used to work for Crew Republic, quite a well-known German craft brewer these days, but he'd trained both at Weihenstephan and also at Doemens. But Robin came up with the name of Berliner Berg after speaking to his mum, who reminded him that most breweries were typically set up in the mountains. So this brewery itself is located in the Kopfstrasse near Tempelhoferfeld in the Neukölln district to the south of the city, and it has its on-site tap room as well. But they now have Michaela Hengst as managing director, and they also have a new brewmaster as well. Apparently Rich Hodges left because they wanted to up their volume quite considerably, and this was going to involve travelling around to different places in Germany to brew different beers. But Rich wasn't really kind of on board with that, so they've now got a new brewmaster, and they are actually brewing these beers in a variety of different host breweries. But I think this one, I have a feeling, if I remember rightly from this one is actually one of the beers that they do that is brewed in Berlin, because it says on the bottom here Neukölln, which is that district to the city in the south, like I was saying. But yeah, it tells you a little bit about this beer on the side. We've made the Berlin Sour Classic with traditional art, but we're using seasonal fruit basically. So yeah, really cool this one. But yeah, I do have another one of these that you'll see me review soon that is with raspberries, so you'll see that video in a little while. So yeah, I'll just put a space between these. You don't want to be seeing videos from the same brewery all the time. But yeah, there you can see with this one, Berliner Berg. Most of the artwork you'll get from Berliner Berg is very similar to this. There you can see what I was talking about earlier, the Johannisbeere. Just let the camera focus on that. The Berliner Berg symbol is of course on the bottle cap with this one as well. Like I said, it's a 3.2% Berliner Weiss with currants in it, Johannisbeere, and yeah, not much more to say about that. So if you want to learn more about the brewery, do of course check out the brewery website in the description below, and you can follow them on Facebook and Instagram and things like that as well, where they are pretty active. So let's get this guy out and we will get on with the tasting then. Let's see. Oh yes, I need to do it the opposite way with this one. So there we go. Yeah, as you can see, nice little bit of smoky opening there. Ooh, and that smells nice as you open it up. But we'll get this guy out and into the glass. So look at that. Very curious about this one. So as you can see, this beer's poured in almost like candy pink colour or something like that. It just looks like, you know, almost like It looks almost like a little bit radioactive or something with how bright that colour is. So that's pretty cool actually, I have to say. But yeah, this is a kind of standard thing that you will get from Berliner Weisses, of course. The ones that I drink a lot in Sweden are from the likes of Braerei, who we have in Landskrona in Skåne, but this looks like a very, very nice beer. As you can see though, beautiful pink colour. Yeah, quite a few big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass there, a few little ones going up towards where the head used to be. The head was about a half finger and perfectly white, I guess. But yeah, it pretty much looks as you could expect from a Berliner Weiss. I wouldn't say as you would expect, because all of these Berliner Weisses tend to be slightly different colours. But yeah, not unsurprising to see one appear like this one. So yeah, nice looking beer that. If I put my fingers behind the glass, you can see it isn't really transparent. It is quite yeah, it's quite a hazy beer, this one, and again that's because of the wheat that's in it. So let's take a closer look at the aroma then and just see how we get on with this one. Yeah, pretty much straight away, black currants, red currants, that nice typical juicy feel. You can pick up some of the nice smooth wheat malt under there. And that's one of the things, the Berliner Weiss, it's not one of the most diverse beers in terms of its aroma. It is usually pretty straight up. Like, you know, this one, it has the nice wheaty base to it. There's a little bit of an almost biscuity sweetness in there as well. A little bit of the white bready kind of quality. You can smell some of that sharper, tart, lemony citrus in there. Yeah, definitely a little bit of a tart, lemony citrus in this one. But yeah, you can pick up the currants. It's black currants, it's red currants. It's got a little bit of that kind of candied berryish fruit to it as well. But it smells pretty nice. There's a little bit of grassiness from the hops and stuff in there too. But overall, you know, it smells pretty much as you would expect from a Berliner Weiss. There's not too much surprising in the aroma in this one, which is good. So yeah, I'm very curious about this. This is the very first one that I've had that's had blackberries and red berries and stuff in it. So I'm very curious to see how this one turns out. So without further ado then, let's get stuck into this one. So this one is the Berliner Fruchte Weisse Johannisbeere edition from Berliner Berg Brauerei in the Neukölln district in Berlin. So yeah, let's get stuck in. Sláinte, skål, prost. Yeah, it's interesting, that one. You can tell it's very, very fresh, because the fruit, you can still, it almost tastes like fruit that you just pull right off the, you know, right off the vine or something like that. It still has that almost forest. It has that almost. It almost tastes like the forest or something like that. Yeah, yeah, definitely. This is really fresh. I mean, when I bought this at the Berliner beer shop, you know, he said to me, I think he only had those beers delivered like the day before or something like that. So this one is very, very fresh. I'm drinking this only like 2-3 days after I bought it. So yeah, very, very fresh beer as it stands, but it's really nice actually. And again, it's pretty much what you would expect of the Berliner Weiss style. So yeah, with this beer, it's interesting. I always find the Berliner Weiss interesting because it's the wheat part of the beer always comes out a little bit later. So with this one, you can feel it's got a nice you can feel that sort of nice bready base there in the middle of your palate. That just blankets the middle of your tongue. You get the wheaty smoothness coming out of that a little bit later as well. There's some of the German noble hop in there as well. You can pick up just a little bit of that nice, almost slightly sweet earthiness there, and as you come further forward along the sides of the palate, it just smooths out a little bit of a floral, a little touch of a floral quality at the front corners of the palate, then around the very front curve of the tongue. It's just a little bit lighter and grassy as well. And you know, that's the main kind of components of the beer. But the berries come out of this one really quite nicely. So when you take this beer in, you get the sort of really sharp lemony, citrusy thing that you always get from like the lactobacillus and the Brettanomyces. You get that coming in like straight away with this beer, and you can feel it's just right behind the middle of your tongue, so you've got that really sharp, tart, lemony quality to this beer at the start, but then that just subsides and you start to get the juicy berries out of this one. And for me, it's the blackberries that I'm noticing a little bit more, I have to admit. But yeah, no, the red currant kind of things, they do come out. I'm finding the black currants are the things, they're sticking towards the front of my palate, but then the red currants, I'm getting a little bit around the sides. But there's almost a little bit of a kind of candied, strawberry-ish flavour to this one as well. It reminds me of the little heart-shaped sweets you get in Haribo Star Mix as well. It's got a little bit of that just kind of on the tip of the tongue too. But I mean, overall, this beer, it's really nice, and it's a style that I'm fairly familiar with because of the amount of Berliner Weisses that Braerei in Sweden do. You know, this is a style that I am actually quite familiar with, and Braerei, it really got me into enjoying these sour beers. I actually heard from the guy who owned the Berliner beer shop, he was telling me that the Berliner Weiss style was actually developed by accident because people made beers and they didn't know much about infections and things these days, so they started getting the kind of wild yeast strains, and the beer just tasted like this, and they just sold it and people liked it, and it wasn't actually a conscious effort to make a beer that was sour like this. That was what he was telling me about the Berliner Weisse, which is really interesting. So this one, yeah, this is really quite interesting. I enjoy learning little bits about that. So I think this is my first Berliner Weisse that I've actually had from Berlin. I have reviewed a beer from Berliner Kindle, but it wasn't sour in the same way. That was more like a wheat beer that they'd added syrup to, which was interesting. But yeah, this is a nice Berliner Weiss. I like this one. It's not quite as smooth actually as the ones that I've had from Braerei, but still very, very nice beer. I'm curious to see how the raspberry one turns out actually, so yeah. But this, yeah, nice beer this one. In terms of Berliner Weiss, if you like the style, you will enjoy this one. It's very well done, and at the moment when I'm drinking this, very, very fresh. In terms of the mouthfeel then, I would say this guy is... yeah, it's mid-bodied. Carbonation has a little bit of a prickle to it, but you always find that with sour beers. It's very, very easy to drink this one. Bit of a combination between an oily and a wet mouthfeel. Nice smoothness from the malt base. A little bit of... there's not really any bitterness from the hops in this one. Lovely big bit of kind of tartness as you would expect with the sour beers, and it's got that lovely juicy fruity quality to it as well. So overall, you know, it's a really, it's just a nice beer. It's very, very easy to drink, and it is kind of cool. I like that, adding seasonal fruit to, you know, traditional Berlin beer style, especially when it's one of these kind of new age craft breweries that's popping up. So yeah, very, very nice beer this one, and I'm glad that I was able to review it. So I'm definitely looking forward to the raspberry one that I have as well. So you'll see that video at some point in the fairly near future. But yeah, let's leave it at that for this one. A really, really nice beer, this one. So this was the Berliner Fruchte Weisse from Berliner Berg Brauerei, the Johannisbeere edition, which was released in October of 2018. So yeah, really nice beer this one, and I'm glad that I got to review it. So once again, thank you for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below. Let me know what your favourite beers are from Berliner Berg Brauerei as well. Do make sure you check out my social media, and I will catch you guys very, very soon. Really interesting beer, this one. It's a style that I'm really kind of getting into these days, but I will catch you guys very soon with more reviews, and I'm sure we'll return to Berliner Berg very soon. Slange, Skål, Prost.